Hello, you guys. How are you? What is today? Is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Welcome in. Can you guys all see me okay? Am I like in the frame of the camera? Hopefully. I'm on my iPad and I'm not used to being on this. Anyway, welcome in. I hope you guys are having a fabulous night. Tonight we actually have two special guests. One of them is actually the formulator of TriGLP and his amazing wife, Tylene. He has actually been in the holistic health industry for about over 25 years. He's worked with many professional athletes, many professional athletic teams, but most importantly, he is here with us as the formulator of our astounding product, TriGLP. So I am going to turn this over to Mr. Sean Loomer. And again, we thank you so much for taking the time to meet just with our team tonight. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ashley. I know this looks kind of weird, but we just got to a hotel, just got to a hotel. So we ran upstairs and we're gonna make this work somehow. So yeah, we're super excited to be able to help in any way we can and share. I'm Sean. This is my amazing wife, Tylene. Um, I say that because
I'm amazing.
she's amazing, but also because if we're going like this, it's because we're falling off the bed.
Yeah.
So bear with us. Uh, yeah, Ty and I met quite a while ago, and I was doing my own research back then. I had lost my mom to colon cancer, and Ty was working with some of the Phoenix Suns basketball players and some other pro athletes, and mostly doctors at that time, teaching health practitioners primarily gut health and whole food supplementing, plant-based supplementing, the side effects and things that weren't so positive when it came to synthetic ingredients, etc. And away we went. And so about 25 years ago, we saw really a huge movement in gut health. And that's really where we kind of got started together with all of this good stuff. And Ty does a lot of creating of products and formulating in the supplement space. I work a lot specifically in the dropper, as you know, the dropper environment. And that started about 14 years ago with the patents that we had been able to secure to extract food and plants and flowers and roots and mushrooms and just about I can't say everything, but just almost everything. But anyway, so what we want to do is what we've learned over the years as we've done this for a long time in different environments. One, we want to keep it really simple so the story can be shared and replicated without getting too caught up into the weeds of trying to know too much. Because when that happens, most people don't remember much, and it's very difficult for them to share what's really happening and going on. And as you all probably have already experienced, and maybe not yet, but most people just want to know, what is it? Is it safe? Is it going to help me? Right? Like, what is the end result? If I do this, what can it potentially do for me? And so we want to keep it there. We want to be able to answer questions, of course, and we're going to do some new things. I know there's some docs on that we'll try to make some videos to help the health practitioners more specific. They tend to get a little more deeper dive, right, when they're dealing with their patients, etc. And so we'll do all that as well. But we want to just really get you to understand it. If you haven't heard from us before, this obviously is moving at a fast pace. And, I was looking up at the industry and, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever it's been now, no one knew what gut health was. And we were trying to shout from the rooftops, you guys, gut health is everything starts in the gut. And people were just kind of looking at us like we were weirdos. You guys don't know what you're talking about. And of course, now I think gut health is highly recognized as a super important factor to all of our health. The CBD space, if you remember the CBD space, when that came out, there we go. I see a little cannabis leaf on there. We took it a big impact. We had a big impact in that environment because of our patents on extraction. In that space, we were so excited because it was big, and that's probably today is probably somewhere around 16 to 18 billion dollars as an industry. Um, we're looking at this peptide space already over 100 billion today. It's anticipated by it's going to 140, 150, and then they're looking at it to go up to about 300 billion. That's a big number. That's a really, really big number. This is the biggest thing we've ever seen as far as all over the planet, people trying to help their health, whether it's losing weight, losing fat, and now realizing the good, the bad, and the ugly with taking synthetic versions of that. And so the lawsuits have all started. The companies are getting shut down. The side effects are hitting. And that doesn't mean it happens to everyone. That just means in general, there's a lot of negativity around both the shots and now that these pills, they may not be an injection, but they're having those experiences now with the pills that they're coming out with. So let's take a step back and kind of share how this really all got started. We have a partner in Norway that when we went to see a couple years back, whatever it's been now, they had developed a way, they've been working on this for about 15 years with salmon, how they could take that salmon using one of our favorite things, enzymes, right? And take them through a process to do something no one else in the world was doing with salmon. So it started with how they were dealing with the salmon in the fjords in Norway, where they're taking these salmon and raising them in the perfect water temperature. They can measure every little thing, what they're feeding them. They're becoming an adult salmon in about 18 to 24 months rather than 4 to 5 years out when they say wild salmon. Those salmon are picking up an extreme amount of parasites. And the mortality rate of those salmon is very, very high. They typically don't make it to adulthood like what we're dealing with in Norway in the fjords. So we're getting these salmon to adulthood in a couple of years, and they are extremely clean without the parasites. And when you experience, maybe someday you'll experience this when we go, and we're excited. We're going back. We're getting on a plane heading to Europe tomorrow. It's unbelievable to watch what's going on, this process. It's just like this Jurassic Park movie. I mean, when we first went, I'm like, it was just mind-boggling how they were doing this, how everything was taking a salmon egg with tweezers, these long tweezers, right, and starting the process. And they're now the largest in the world doing what they're doing. And so there's an abundance using this process. You can go into their fish facility right from the water within 40 minutes. Everything is processed and done. It doesn't even smell like fish in this facility. They're not using anything dirty. They're not cleaning with chemicals, nothing. And I think if people understood what that means, especially people will relate to fish oil, taking fish oil capsules or whatever, you would never take a fish oil again if you knew what they were doing to that fish to create that oil. But anyways, this perfect salmon has its own patents using enzymes, liberating the salmon. As I said, there's the fillet of the salmon, and then of course there's the head, the skin, and the bones, the pin bones that are going through this process. We're taking this patented process, we're bringing it into the US where we have our 2 patents on extraction. So we're running that material through our process, which also doesn't use chemicals or anything harmful, no alcohol, etc. And we're creating what you know as the TriGLP in the dropper. And because one of our biggest unique things that we do when we extract the finished product, we do not add a carrier oil into that bottle like every other dropper bottle on the planet does. They all do it. They use either alcohol, right? That's part of their process, but they also use coconut oil, MCT oil, hemp seed oil, whatever it is. Not that those oils are bad, but they're oil. And our bodies are made up of water, fluids. We are extremely absorbable. We're very potent. Those oils, in reality, are between 4 to 8% of absorption. No one talks about that. Okay. And they come up with some fancy ways of, forcing it into the cells, which is also problematic in most ways that they're doing this. And they're taking these oils, trying to get this medicine. That's why they tell you to hold it under your tongue for a minute or 90 seconds, because they're trying to get whatever they can to absorb. Okay. We don't do that. All of our medicine, we call it medicine, all of this salmon is in the bottle, in the drops, 50 milligrams per drop, and the absorption is extremely high. That's why if you've used the product already, when you drop it on or under your tongue, it dissipates. It absorbs right now. It's basically bypassing the digestive tract, right? It's not going through that whole process, and it's hitting the body very fast. So you have a highly absorbable, potent thing that you're allowing your body to decide what it wants to do with it, right? We don't want to ever force anything into the body. There's a time and a place for that. That's not what we do. We want the body. We always say, give the body what it needs and let it figure it out. Let it
Heal itself
in its own way. So that's kind of the story why we don't use a lot of drops. We're a true micro drop, a true micro dose, because less is more when something is whole. So because we leave Mother Nature alone, we keep it whole. We don't isolate. We don't fractionate out certain things. That's more like what pharma does. They'll take something from nature that has some good value to it. They'll take it and they'll amplify it. They'll take a single molecule, for example. They'll amplify that, spin it, and do all the other things they do. And that's why when you watch these silly TV commercials, your headache will go away, but your arm might fall off or whatever the side effect might be. It's because there's a lot of potential harmful things that can happen. And I'm not judging anyone who uses medications. All I'm saying is the reality is the reason why they have to put those disclaimers on the TV commercials is because there are some truly high risk there. And so I don't know what it is anymore. We were talking about this, I think, a couple of weeks ago. When we used to teach this stuff 15, 20 years ago, the US was one of 2 countries in the world that it was even legal to advertise pharmaceutical medications. That's kind of, I don't know, it really tells you something. That I think it was us in New Zealand back then. That's who was allowing these pharmaceutical drug companies to have these commercials out there. So what we do can only help you. It cannot hurt you. The longer you do it, the better it does. Okay. Yes, if the people are using an injection, a synthetic form, whatever that is that they may be using, yes, they can use this because we are basically food. Okay. Obviously, they can talk to their doctor, and let them know what they're doing and what they're using. But one of the biggest things, differentiators for us, is that you're losing fat and retaining your lean muscle mass. Okay. And so the other GLP-1, if you look at the clinical studies, etc., they're losing up to 39% of their muscle. Yes, they are losing fat, but we want to talk about losing fat while keeping your muscle. That's why I'm constantly telling people, don't just look at your weight. That's not what this is about. Yes, you want to lose weight. I get it. But you want to lose fat. You want to build muscle or maintain or retain your lean muscle mass, right? And muscle typically weighs more, right, than fat. So we have to be mindful of that. Listen to your body. See how you feel. See how your clothes fit. Okay. you're helping your gut rather than destroying your gut. I mean, there are some really nasty things. You want to jump in and talk about any of?
Oh, there's so many things I could talk about. So what I've been doing for a long, long time is really teaching people how to be healthy and do things a little bit smarter. So if you can find something that is going to support the body without harming it and still have the same effect as like a drug out there, so you're not going to have the side effects. That's what I've been teaching in general. So with this, you're actually triggering and turning on your incretin hormones, which are your natural gut hormones, your GLP-1, GLP-2, GIP, to quiet that food noise, to also heal the gut, to help support iron. So it's doing a bunch of different mechanisms. And how it's doing that is they've already taken the salmon, and then, like Sean had mentioned, they're using enzymes to liberate the peptides. Over 500 peptides are coming from the salmon. And then what we do is then take it even further when we get it, extract it even more so it becomes water compatible. So now you have a process that's already amazing, highly absorbable, and then you take it even another step further to make it water compatible. So now it's really getting in at the cellular level to turn on your incretin hormones to support true fat loss and be able to keep your muscle mass. And where that's important is that's going to help with your face, keeping your facial structure. You'll hear people say, like Ozempic face or whatever. And that's because their faces are getting very drawn. They're losing their kind of structure in their face, their muscle mass, even in their face, they're losing their collagen. And so this is actually supporting your collagen. It's supporting your muscle structure while helping you quiet the food noise, while also helping heal the tight junctions, which is where GLP-2 comes in your intestinal tract, which is closing off those little junctions in your intestinal tract that can let food seep through, which is bad because then it gets into your bloodstream, causes a lot of havoc, a host of other issues. So once all these things work synergistically to help you lose fat, it also, in the same sense, is going to help you with your heart and also your muscle mass and diabetes and things like that, that people naturally are looking for this type of, drug, that they're out there looking for this. So if you can give people a solution where they don't have to take a pill that can give side effects or a shot, and they can just do tiny drops that is going to be highly absorbable it's so absorbable that it's non-allergenic, because the measurement, the Daltons, are so tiny that your body only recognizes it as the small chains of amino acids, which are peptides. So your body's looking at it as amino acids versus, oh, this is from fish. So people that are allergic to fish can actually take this because it's so tiny and the measurement's so small that the body recognizes it just as a pure nutrient. So it's absolutely everything that I've taught in health and nutrition for, I don't even know, maybe 30 years at this point, probably longer, has been reach for the thing that is not synthetic and try to heal your body with food. Let food be your medicine. And truly, that is what you guys are doing with this product.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, well, first of all, let me take a step back. So we're all similar, but we're different. And what I mean by that is we all have something a little bit different going on in our bodies. Okay. And so we're different.
Because we eat a lot of different things.
We eat differently. We I don't know.
Different ages, grew up
different ages, different cultures,
around different chemicals,
whatever it is. There's so many contributing factors. But I want you to realize that. So a couple of things. One, when what you were talking about when she said iron absorption, well, it's nutrient absorption. So some people, for the very first time, because we've really focused our careers on gut, is they start absorbing nutrients that they haven't been able to absorb.
Which is why some people will message us and go, hey, is this supposed to help my hair? Or, is it supposed to help this? And that's really because you're healing your gut
Or they're
lining while you're doing
holding
this.
on to nutrients more in the beginning, because for the first time your body's able to utilize those nutrients and absorb them.
100%.
And so it's like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not losing a bunch of weight
As fast as my
as the next
neighbor or
person,
boyfriend.
but you're absorbing nutrients. And so that's why we always say, see how you feel, right? Because it does a lot of different things. And people who have more fat to lose,
they tend to lose,
they tend to
see results faster.
Yeah, they tend to see it 2 to 4 weeks faster, at least a couple of weeks, than those who maybe not have to lose as much fat. And then the other thing we need to keep in mind is our visceral fat, our skinny fat, internal fat
around your organs, which is even more important really than your belly fat.
Yeah, and so there's just different pieces. And so I don't want anyone to ever get caught up on comparing you to the next person and so on and so forth. Yeah, we have people losing 35, 40 pounds, all that stuff, but that's okay. That's great. But don't just get caught up into that. We want to create a healthier version of you, of all of us. And we've never weight loss to us
should be a side effect of doing things right.
Yeah, it's always been a side effect. So yeah, we've helped tens of thousands of people lose weight, but it wasn't wasn't all you got to do is lose weight and you're going to do this to lose weight. It wasn't what it was about. It was getting the gut right. It was doing some other things. And so this is just a perfect storm. And so that's why everyone's lighting up to this, because obviously the marketing and advertising dollars really kicked it off with the synthetic, the shots, all these things. That's what you hear say. I mean,
drops, no shots.
Yeah, I'd rather take drops than shots personally. I don't know about you. And most people would, right? Most people would have. So you've got something to really, really help people and not hurt people. And that's a really big thing. And so I just want you to know you keep doing it, the better your body gets. But I want to throw this out there. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I was talking to a doctor, I think it was yesterday, and we were talking about placebo testing and nocebo and other, right? These different things. Our minds, and I've taught a lot of this stuff, coaching people for, the last 40 years of my life. Our minds are super powerful, super strong. A lot of you know this already. I'm not telling you anything new. A lot of you have all your belief systems, or whether it's law of attraction or whether it's, your positivity, words are powerful. The things we say, what we throw out comes back. We're mirrors, we're a reflection of ourselves. And I've been teaching this stuff for decades, and nothing couldn't be more true when it comes to who decides, is something going to work for you? You or the person over there who says, that's not going to work for you, right? In anything in life. And this is no different. If you start putting into your whole being how this is going to help you, you have a better opportunity of this helping you. That's all I'm going to say. You can look at placebo studies and all these things where people are told this, that, and the other. I mean, all the way to the point of death. We've worked a lot with cancer facilities in other countries. We've done a lot of work in that space in clinics back in the.
Probably explain that. What he means is just because people are probably
go ahead.
What do you mean
I
by
haven't
death?
gotten there yet.
So the nocebo effect is when somebody actually tells someone that they have cancer and they have like 3 months to live, and they actually never had it. It was a misread test or whatever, and they die from that very thing that they were told without ever having a disease. So that's how powerful our minds are. Thoughts really do become things.
Choose good ones.
To understand
right. So I just want you to know that
we worked with a lot of cancer patients.
Having that positive outlook, it comes into play here as well, right? Just like anything else in our lives. So keep that in mind, because you are going to run across people that are going to be very skeptical, and nothing may help them. Who knows? Because we
call them Eeyores.
A little bit of Eeyores. They're out there. That's okay. We want to help everybody.
Another rainy day.
But remember, what you have is very unique. It's unique from the standpoint of where it's coming from, the patents in that process, to the end result, the patents on this side in the US. of how it's extracted. And I think
we were the first to start microdosing in general, let alone microdosing, a natural peptide, because now a lot of the drug companies are trying to do the microdosing as well. So you'll hear the word microdosing, but theirs is still with a synthetic. So it's really important that you guys understand that yours is healthy, non-synthetic, food-based peptides. That's really important.
And when you're asked questions, or we'll hear questions, can so-and-so take this with this or with that? Well, it's food. So it's not like
it only has a healing effect.
You're not mixing a drug.
I frankly think whether someone wants to lose fat or not, every single person should be taking this product. The question is, how much should they take? So if they were just doing it for maintenance, say you have a totally skinny friend, they still should take this for the gut lining healing, for not overeating in general, the nutrient absorption, because sometimes when someone's super skinny, they're not getting enough nutrients. So they'll notice it in their hair. So there's a lot of reasons, but then maybe they do a maintenance supply. Maybe they just do 5 drops a day. Whereas someone who's really trying to lose fat, they're doing 10 drops a day. And maybe it's somebody who doesn't eat a lot in the morning. They can do all 10 drops in the afternoon to get that real good effect to trigger the incretin system so they don't overeat at night. So the beautiful thing is you can regulate it. You could take a few drops morning, noon, and night.
Right. And by the way, I saw a little chat or question flash by. I haven't seen any of them. All right. But it has something to do with like the ginger and lemon. And I want to address that. So yeah,
but also medicine.
But
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well, the flavor is not a flavor.
Yeah. So what I was going to say was, yes, there's some health benefits from ginger, etc.
100%.
But the
ginger can be a thermogenic. So
the really cool thing here is the ginger and lemon go through the same extraction process. So we're not adding a flavor. We're using those for health benefits and flavor, but we're extracting those through the same process. So the absorption remains the same, if that makes sense. If we just added an outside thing, that would mess it up. Now it's something else in that bottle. We don't want anything in that bottle that we didn't extract.
And that won't support what you're trying to accomplish. If it's lemon's going to help detox the liver, and your body won't let go of fat unless the liver can handle the toxins that have been stored in your fat. So it's only going to support you. Ginger acts as a thermogenic, so it's going to help you burn fat. So everything we do, we try to think of how is this going to benefit the person with the goal in mind that they're trying to accomplish.
Yes.
Boom.
No, and it's super important that we're driving this home. We're all part of this, the biggest kind of thing we've ever seen in our lifetime, health-wise, right? That we can be a part of, that we can jump on and ride this wave. And the second thing that goes with it is, I mean, everyone's looking for it. So it's not like this is our first discovery, right? Everyone's already seeking this out. So now it's our role to share this with everyone, to say, look, I've got a solution for you that is not going to hurt you. That's not going to harm you. And a lot of those things are going away. Let's get you healthy and let's accomplish these things by doing it this other way. And so it's just such a, I don't know, it's a perfect storm going on right now.
Right. I foresee in the future where people don't even want to hear GLP-1. And so then you guys can talk about GLP-2, GIP, because I think when there's a lot of hype around something, it's kind of like ebb and flow in a marketplace. So you guys should be the first ones to talk about that you have all 3, that you have over 500 peptides, that you're supporting and triggering your friends, your aunts, your sisters, your brothers, natural gut hormone process for quieting food noise, for iron absorption, for nutrient absorption, for true healing, for true fat loss, for maintaining muscle mass. So if you guys are at the forefront of the microdosing, it's water compatible, meaning the reason why that's important is it's highly absorbable. Water compatible is like if you have an orange, it's vitamin C is a water soluble vitamin. You have to keep replenishing it. Whereas then there's fat soluble that just sits in your fat. So they're very different. One is highly absorbable and needed and used quickly. So you guys should be on the forefront of talking about all these new things that people haven't heard and not all the rhetoric of just GLP-1. That's great. And it's, been helping people with diabetes and all of that. But you can also make it like, oh, that was yesterday's news. This is what we have. And it not only does that, but it also does this. And it does it very safely and effectively with natural peptides from salmon.
Yes, and I just caught the tail end of another little question on there. If they're allowed to eat salmon, I'm gonna like if they have a
Yeah.
disease, like the C word, yes.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And it would be beneficial because once again, the gut healing, quieting the food noise, and not hurting the pancreas. So a lot of those other things are hurting the pancreas.
Oh my gosh.
This is a supportive product that is going to be so much better for someone that's dealing with any type of disease.
All your statistics and things like that take a while, a year, 2 years to kind of come out,
More
right?
now.
And now more.
Longer.
I'm telling you right now, we haven't even scratched the surface of the health issues the world's going to see.
And that's why I'm saying
what they're taking.
they're going to go from being excited about GLP-1s to, oh, fearful. So I'm saying start positioning where you are in the marketplace with that you have a combination, the trifecta of supportive gut hormones so that you're turning on that mechanism. So what you're doing is you're supporting the body with over 500 peptides that turns that switch on. So you're not like forcing a reaction on the body, you're supporting a reaction that the body naturally does. And that's really, really important for everybody to understand that that's why it's so different from the synthetic versions.
And not only do you not look like droopy,
the collagen,
your skin
losing all that
it's
elasticity.
Amazing. Like
it supports it, it helps it.
That's a whole
and that's because of all the amino acids, the peptides, the proteins.
Collagen support.
Right. You're laying down that matrix for your skin to be better.
All right. So I know we've gone about a half hour.
Because there's two of us. We're like,
yeah. My turn.
What do you want to know?
Ashley, what else do we need to cover? I know there's a lot going on here.
No, I think you guys have covered so much already. I know there's been some questions in the chat, but you've done an amazing job. And I'm just sitting here as well, like mind blown every time that, I hear about this. And it's just, sometimes it's so bittersweet because there's times in the past that we could have used this or, someone personal or close to me could have used this. One being my father who passed away 6 years ago. So it's just like a very bittersweet thing for me. But I think we don't want to take up a ton of your time. I think that was quite a bit of information and simple to take all in for you guys that are here on this Zoom. I do see that you guys have asked a few questions. A few questions have been answered, but I'm going to just take a couple minutes, if you guys don't mind, just to ask you a couple more that I saw on here. Okay.
Sure.
Absolutely. This one is from Dr. Jeremy Thornton. It says, with over 500 peptides, isn't it possible we're impacting health benefits even beyond GLP-1 to GIP?
100%, but we're just quoting the ones that have been in the studies. But so the way I would think about it is even just healing your gut lining. So if you looked up what diseases could be created by a weak gut lining, and then it gives you that list, you would know, oh, wow, we're helping those things. So that's why I'm saying really every single person should be taking it at least for maintenance, which would be around, 5 to 8 drops, depending on where the person's at in their life, how bad they eat, that sort of thing. I like to take mine we've been traveling, so I've been taking a lot more because, oh my gosh, when food is put in front of me, I may teach this stuff, but it doesn't mean I have a lot of willpower depending on where I'm at, especially when I'm near places I grew up and I want to eat bad, naughty food. So I really need to quiet the food noise. So I'll take a little more. I usually take like 10 in the afternoon because I'm not an overeater in the morning. Because I'm 57 now, I do try to get some protein in the morning to lower my cortisol levels. But normally, I kind of almost force myself to do that because I really don't crave a lot of food in the morning. And then I'm having my matcha tea, which quiets some food noise. But later, I'm more of a nighttime, oh, I'm finally relaxed. I want to just eat and watch some stupid show on TV. That's when I tend to overeat. So I like to take like a solid 10 drops as it gets closer towards the evening, but not too late because I don't want to like be up all night with energy. So I usually do maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Seems to be like a sweet spot for me. So people should play around with it a little bit. But then I have other friends that they're doing 5 drops in the morning, 5 in the afternoon. They've stayed real consistent with that, and they like that routine for them. And I think it's different with guys and girls too. I hear, different combinations. Guys always seem lucky, like they could do whatever and everything works amazing for them. So
Come on. I
Exactly.
just want to interject. That was a great comment or question from the doc, because
so true.
absolutely true. And the longer we go down this road, he's so on point. There's going to be more and more things are going to be revealed of how it's helped people. So we're super excited about that.
Awesome. Well, we love to hear that. Let me just see. Let me see if there's one or two more questions. I think I saw as I was scrolling on here. Sorry, I can barely see the screen. I think there was one that said, I saw you said, can people with the C word take this? Someone else asked, what about some with Parkinson's? I know no medical advice. You're not giving us medical advice, but I'm assuming it's the same that you said previously. If they can eat salmon,
Right.
then they can probably take
What
it.
it doesn't have in it that Parkinson's would benefit from, that hopefully, I know I can't give away anything, but Parkinson's would benefit more from more of the omega part of the fish, more of the good fats. You're not going to get as much of that in this because this was more based on proteins. So it's not going to hurt, because for sure, if your gut's working good and you're getting nutrient absorption from the food you're eating, obviously it's going to help your brain health.
Can only help.
But specifically targeting that, we're hoping we can do some more with salmon in the future.
Well, we can't wait to hear about that.
I know you can't ask a girl something. I'm going to start giving you spilling the tea on everything.
Well, I'll talk to you after this, but no, I'm just kidding. And one last question. I think someone else had asked, can someone on the shots take this at the same time? We do have numerous people asking this. So
yeah, we know many people who do. Whether it's because they want to hopefully wean themselves off the shots because they're starting to bother them, or they just don't feel good doing
or hang
it.
on to a little bit more muscle mass.
Yeah, hoping they can maintain a little more muscle mass.
Some people have told me is it helped them not feel so sick. Like I've had some people do the shots, go off the shots, do the shots again, so they know the difference. And the second time around when they went on the shots and did this with it, they didn't feel as ill. And that was good. So they still didn't want to eat, but a lot of times you don't want to eat because you feel like you're going to throw up when you're doing the shots. That kind of went away. So they still didn't want to eat, but they felt like healthier and just better and not as ill. That's the feedback I've been getting. I'm assuming everybody's, probably different, but I would suggest any friends that are doing a lot of the different types of shots, and it also probably depends on which one they're doing. Because if they're doing like a semaglutide or something that's just going to be like a GLP-1, then they're not getting GLP-2 or GIP. So we're filling in that gap for them, which could be highly beneficial for making the body work in more of a homeostasis zone. So for sure, I would be like having anyone that I know and cared about try to do that.
absolutely. Thank you so much. And just two more quick questions. You don't have to go in depth about it, but one was, what's the absorption rate of the drops? If something you could.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen we've seen so many different tests, right, on these. So we've seen anywhere from 65 up to close to 100%. So it's hard to nail that number down, because we've done more studies like in the hemp and CBD space, right, with the droppers, and we've done the mushrooms and all these things. But I would say you're somewhere in that
super absorbable.
I'm trying to be conservative
Very
here.
conservative, but it's water compatible. So literally you just drop it on your tongue, doesn't have to be under your tongue, doesn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Literally just drop it and you feel it absorb.
So, I mean, I would say 70, 80%. I'll just kind of say that, even though I know I've seen things that say higher, but.
Awesome. I love it. Love to hear it. And then the very last question, you guys, I promise you, are there cases in slower responders that may need a higher dosage temporarily, which I'm sure is probably the case. The same with the shots is, you know, sad it is.
I find the skinnier the person is, the more, because I know I needed more to quiet the food noise because I don't have a lot of weight on me, but I don't want, and now that I'm older, I hang on to my weight a little longer, so it's harder to lose it. And I definitely noticed I needed those 10 drops and I needed them later in the day. So that's me. And that was for just maintaining and not overeating at night. And I literally could overeat at night and stand on the scale and be a pound heavier the next day. So I know that worked for me to quiet the food noise.
And I think, I'll be brief, but
everybody's different.
But people really need to also kind of look in the mirror and say, okay, what am I trying to do to help this process, right? What am I eating? Am I moving? You know, am I at least going on a walk? Maybe I'm not working out all the time, but am I getting some movement in my life? Am I hydrated? Am I rested? Like all the other, you know what I mean? All the other things that contribute to us kind of mind, body, spirit, that whole thing, which is going to help the whole process. So yeah, it's a combination for everyone. I think most people, not all, most people notice the food noise kind of quieting pretty soon. Some it's day 1, some it's day 3, some it's day 10, right? So you just got to keep going.
Be mindful though, because a lot of times the food noise is quiet, but you are so into a habit of eating a whole bag of chips that you sit there and you keep doing it, but you're really not hungry. The food noise is like gone, but out of a habit, you keep continuing the same. So be mindful as you're eating to go, wait a minute, that's so weird. I really don't want the rest of this food. Put it away. Like if you're someone like me who doesn't want to waste, package it up and say, that's going to be my breakfast. That's going to be whatever. So be really mindful of yourself and like look in the mirror type of thing, because sometimes we just go, and we're used to very rigid habits and we don't realize, you know what, I am full and I don't need the rest of this.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I love to hear it. Well, thank you. I know there's some more questions, you guys. We can probably compile them into a list and, you know, myself or Michelle can possibly ask them in a message, but we don't want to take up any more of your time. We appreciate you guys so much for this. It has been amazing.
We're grateful. Thank you so much to everyone who just jumped on and
love it
and would listen. We want to help however we can. So we appreciate everyone doing this. You know, let's just all collaborate and help each other out.
Absolutely. And you guys, wherever you're at, enjoy the rest of your trip. I hope you have a fabulous time. And you guys, we'll talk to you soon and we'll have the recording to you guys later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Love all the hearts.
Okay.